Hey guys, it's Kat and I'm back today to do my, what month is it? March check-in for my Project Apocalips. So this is a series where I'm testing out my whole lip collection within reason. There are some that have been skipped accidentally. I might have to revisit them at the end. But I want to try my whole lip collection, which consists of over 500 lip products. And each month I want to check in and let you know what I think about the products and which ones I'm keeping and which ones I'm getting rid of. Now, I do also have an eyeshadow palette review series sort of like this. If you are following that one, I think that one's going to be a little bit late this month because I've done a few eyeshadow palette reviews, which has delayed it. So that is coming, and I'm wearing an eyeshadow that I'm testing. But let's talk about lips. All right, this month I decided to do my indie brands number 2. So last year I talked about indie brands and I exclusively talked about like liquid lipstick or lip gloss products because that's just how I decided to split them. I think it was during a time we're in lockdown, so I was mainly either using like lip glosses or liquid lipsticks because I'd stay under masks. So I left all the bullet lipsticks behind, and that's what I'm testing this month. So I've got, well, there's one tube there, but oh well, we'll make an exception. So I've got 32 lip products from brands like Linda Holberg, which is LH Cosmetics now, Lime Crime, Besame, Black Moon Cosmetics, Melt, Sugarpill, and I've got a Lisa Eldridge. To be fair, this probably should be in the luxury category, but I bought this after I did the luxury videos and I don't have any more of those coming up, so I thought I'll just chuck that into this month. So we may as well start with Lisa Eldridge and maybe start by talking about the lipsticks I have like one of from the brand. So Lisa Eldridge, I've got one lipstick, and I know people will be shocked because these are super hyped online, and I repeatedly hear whenever she releases a new range of lipsticks or new shades to the collection that people buy them and they've replaced all their lipsticks with Lisa Eldridge. I have the shade Velvet Morning, which is a matte. It's a red. It's like a vibrant orange tone red. Very, 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 very similar to MAC Lady Danger. So there you go. So what I said in my notes is that this almost has a powdery feel to it. So it gives an instant matte effect on the lips. It has nice pigmentation and it does wear down really nicely. I've worn this a couple of times this month. I wore it last night to a friend's engagement. Hello, Steph. And it wears really nicely. I wore this through eating like fish and chips and stuff yesterday at lunchtime, and it stayed on looking fairly bold. It did actually wear down in the inner, like the outer corners, just a slight amount, but it's not noticeable unless you're like, okay. So it was a nice wearing lipstick and very comfortable. It is not a dry feeling lipstick, but because it does have that powdery feel to it, it doesn't feel creamy and nourishing, but it doesn't leave your lips feeling dry and sort of puckered. So it's a nice performing matte. What I said in my notes, which is accurate, I said, these lipsticks get a lot of hype and they are nice and I will appreciate using this and I will keep it. But I wasn't so blown away that I need to replace all my lipsticks with this formula. I feel like this performs in a very similar way to MAC Lady Danger, but that feels a little bit creamier and this feels a little bit more matte. But I feel like they look very similar. They wear in a very similar way. So I wasn't majorly blown away by these. Also, because the range has pretty standard shades, like they're all very dupable shades, there is no real incentive to me to order more. I'm really bummed I missed out on the shade Rainbow Spill because that's a gorgeous looking sort of vibrant pink that I really would have loved. But as the range is now, I feel like I can dupe everything in my collection, and I feel like this formula is only slightly better than others that I have. So, or on par with others that I have. So am I going to keep this? Am I going to appreciate it? Yes. But am I singing the praises of Lisa Eldridge lipsticks? Not at the moment, because it's just, they're nice. They're nice. They're also very expensive. Let's go from good to bad. This is TMF. I don't know what this brand is. I've had this for a long time. I think I spontaneously got sent two shades. Back years ago when I used to sometimes be signed up with some PR agencies and they'll be like, we've got a new brand on the books, we'll send you these two random lipsticks. So from that era, which I've been taken off all of those because I can't be bothered, and if I deal with a brand, I prefer to deal with a brand directly. Yeah, I was sent this. It's an Australian brand and I think it's one of those sort of like natural vegan brands. I kept this because I really like the shade. This is called Sadie and it's a beautiful blackened sort of cherry shade. But this is horrible. Look, it wasn't great to start off with. It's quite a waxy, oh, it smells like a crayon. Like it smells bad. It's gone off. And that's a problem with these sort of more natural products, is that they're not stable enough to last a long time. This was kept in optimum conditions, kept alongside other lipsticks that are older, and this smells bad. I can smell it from here. And also it's like this sticky wax color. Like it's more like a blackened purple. Anyway, this was a nightmare to put on. Not only is it like skipping and tugging and sticky and like you purse your lips together and just like grips, but it also made my lips feel like it was burning. So even though I like the color, this formulation is horrible. And I would not buy sort of more natural lipsticks for this very reason. They're not stable, they go bad quickly, and I felt like I was doing damage to my lips the longer I left this on. So this is definitely going. Something I'm keeping, this is beautiful. It's not available anymore, which is a real shame. This is from Sugarpill, and these are the matte lip colors. This is in the shade Euphoria, so U4EA. I believe they still have this shade available in the liquid lipstick version, but I have to say, even though those are more popular, I hate that formula. That formula is hideous. In my last indie video, I decluttered I only had a couple of my Sugarpill liquid lipsticks because they were not good. They were not nice, they were uncomfortable, they were dry, they were like puckery and horrible. This formula is gorgeous and they've discontinued them, which is ridiculous. This shade, pry it out of my cold, dead hands. It is the most gorgeous teal color. It's beautifully pigmented. I think the downside to this, it's a little bit thick, and I don't know if that's because it's slightly getting old, but it's quite creamy. It's like a cream finish. So it's not shimmery, glossy, it's not matte. It's like that standard cream lipstick finish, and the color is divine. I love this color in eyeliners. I love this color in eyeshadows. And I love this color in lipsticks. If I could make any obscure color socially acceptable to wear every day, it would be like this color, because for some reason this is gorgeous. It's vibrant but dark. It's flattering. It doesn't make your teeth look funny. It doesn't make your skin tone look funny. I love this lipstick. I'm keeping it. Good luck getting me to get rid of it, even if it did go off, because it is gorge. And photos will be on the screen. I think it looks gorgeous. I want to wear it more. I think it's fantastic. I'm going to end up being that person that takes my kid to kindergarten wearing teal lipstick. It is what it is. I'm going to get there at some point with my big sort of flowy dresses and my hair up in a messy bun and this green lipstick, and I'm going to be like, I'm going to embarrass him. It is what it is. It's destiny. All right, let's talk about Melt Cosmetics. I have 3 lipsticks. And look, I don't love these, but I don't hate these. I feel like with Melt, they've reformulated their mattes anyway, so I don't even know if these are available anymore. These were the Ultra Matte lipsticks. I've got 3 shades, Cherried, Shady Lady, and what is this, Voyeur. What I think is the highlight of these lipsticks is the colors. I feel like they pick colors really well, and I feel like you can't really dupe them easily anywhere else. All right, so what I essentially said in my notes about this formula is that it's matte. It's not creamy. It's not creamy at all. It's a bit waxy and quite tuggy. It reminds me a little bit of the Anastasia Beverly Hills matte lipsticks when they had them in the bullets. Those are sort of dry and tuggy, and so are these. They're a little bit of effort to put on. Maybe these go on a little bit easier than that, but what is great is it's really nice pigmentation and they last really, really well. When I say they're matte in finish, but they don't set down sort of set dry matte, so they do transfer throughout the day. But the good thing is, because there's so much pigmentation to them, they last really, really well. And there's one in here that I'll talk about that I'm obsessed with that stains, and I love it. I think it wears so well. It's beautiful. Yes, it does transfer onto cups and this, and my kid kept wanting to touch my lips and like body paint with it because he thought it was funny. But the effect of these are really beautiful. So the first shade I have is Voyeur. So this shade is a really unique, almost like olive toned, almost like a sandy nude. This is not going to look great on everyone. I can make you look a little bit corpse-like, but I think it's really cool. I think it's really unique. And with certain makeup looks, I think this just looks really modern and really gorgeous. I don't feel like I have many colors like this in my collection, so I'm definitely going to keep this. My fave. Oh my God, I'm obsessed with this shade. This is Shady Lady. It's not shady. It's gorgeous. It's the most beautiful magenta pink, and it does have purple tones to it. You probably don't see it on camera, but it does have almost like a fuchsia-y sort of vibe to it, and this stands out on the lips. It's bright, it's punchy. I will have photos of me like indoors versus sort of natural light. In natural light, it looks so vibrant and gorgeous, and that's what it looks more like in person. In the indoor photos, it looks a little bit dull, but it is gorgeous and vibrant, and this stains. So like I said, it does transfer, but because it's so pigmented, like, it stays on the lips really well, and then the pink does stain. So as it starts to wear down, it doesn't look patchy. I love it. This is like, I'm gonna wear this to the doctor's office. I'm gonna wear this all the time. It's such a beautiful shade. I'm glad I rediscovered this, and I'm doing this project just to find hidden gems like that, because that's the kind of pink that I'm gonna wear. I don't really like nude pinks. I don't really like subtle pinks. I like bam in your face. I'm gonna stain and I'm gonna make a statement pinks, and this is gorgeous. I love it. Cherried is probably my least favorite. It's again that sort of dark blackened color, but I feel like this formula is so much better than that other one I mentioned, and it's the same color. It's a blackened purple shade. I feel like these shades, they almost look black on the lips, but not quite. And I feel like if you're going to have an extensive lip range, like lip collection, that's the kind of color that you probably should have just for the odd occasion. And this formula is far superior to that other one. This is the formula that I want this color in. Something that stays on the lips, is very bold and doesn't really budge too much and doesn't smear away too much. So even though these do transfer, because they don't set down completely, they don't smear and go out of your lip line too much. So yeah, I'm gonna keep all three. And just as a comparison, this is that horrible balmy one. You can see the color is almost the same, but this formula is just so much better. All right, let's get on to some fancy brands. This is Besame, and Besame is known for their sort of vintage inspired colors and packaging and makeup. Like, they're one of the few brands that does like the cake mascara, like old school style. And what they do is they actually find vintage lipsticks and try to replicate the color. And they sort of, on the website, will tell you what sort of era that lipstick is from. So they do things in a really genuine way that I respect. I just wanted more from these. To be fair, I've had two of these for a very long time. I actually got these in subscription boxes ages ago, and I did like them. I feel like they're getting old and they're getting a little bit thicker. Let's consult my notes. So what I said is that these are a typical traditional cream formula. So again, not shiny, not matte. It's nice quality, creamy, pigmented, comfortable, reasonably long wearing because it is nicely pigmented. The main downside is that it does feel a little bit thick on the lips. And do I need these is the question I keep asking myself. So the two shades that I got ages ago that are too old and I should get rid of them just because they're too old. I've got Exotic Pink, which is this pink that kind of looks similar to that, but it's a little bit more dull. It's like a traditional lipstick pink. Maybe you can't see a difference too much on camera, but it is more dull. I'll have a side by side with the Melt one versus the Besame one. This is just a standard pink. This color is sort of known as lipstick pink because it's so traditional and so basic. So I don't need that in my life. Also, Red Noir is a dark sort of cherry color, similar to these, but a lot more red. So you can see that there. It's a nice smooth formula. But because this is a little bit more slidey on the lips, it is a bit more messy, and it's not as opaque, so it can look a little bit more patchy. So I actually do prefer the Melt one just because the formula suits the color a bit better. More recently, I picked up Sleeping Beauty Pink. This one has been gouged out a little bit by my toddler, and this is just a nude pink, but again, it's just a little bit heavy on the lips. And I don't think the shade suits me as much as I would like it to. And in the scheme of things, even though it is fairly new and it's a fun collection, I don't think I'm going to keep it. I'm not that impressed by it. The one that I was unsure about, and I thought, look, if I had longer, I would test this one more, is actually Red Hot Red. Now, I also want to point out that these bullets are a really unique shape. They're sort of like square and then pinched. And it's designed so you can sort of line your lips. I think it's a really traditional shape. That's what I hear anyway. This red is just your classic blue toned red. Look, when I originally was like swatching this and trying this, I was like, oh yeah, I'll keep it. It's a nice red. It's a classic, nice quality. There's nothing wrong with it. But then I tried something else later in this and I thought, any day of the week, I'd prefer to reach for that one over this. So why keep this? I know I have heaps of reds. Reds are some of my favorite lip products ever. So I have so many of them. So why keep this if I'm not blown away by it? This is fairly new and barely used. So I might give this to my mum. She might enjoy it. But for me, I feel like it's just gonna sit and gather dust and then get old and get thicker and get waxy, and I don't need that to happen. So I'm going to get rid of this one as well. Another range that I am completely getting rid of, and it's sad because it's like an end of an era, but it's a controversial era and it is what it is. It's Lime Crime. These are the unicorn lipsticks. Some of these are the original unicorn lipsticks that were released ages ago. And some of them is when they revamped them in like a 90s grungy nude collection. So a couple of them are nude and these silver bottom ones are colorful. Why did I keep these? Firstly, these are really nice quality, these nude ones. So I've got the shade Chocker, which is this sort of like purpley nude. It's actually really beautiful. Okay, also, besides the fact that they're old and they're getting a little bit funky, so they're starting to get a bit thick on the lips, starting to get a little bit tacky. My toddler found these shiny unicorn purple packaging really, really desirable, and he got his fingers in all of them. So this was very hard to test out because they're all smudged, and I literally just had to apply them like with my fingers or put it on a little bit and then smear it on because none of them have the bullets intact. But this is this beautiful shade and I would love to find a dupe for it. It's like a plummy nude. So it's here. Again, beautiful pigmentation, a cream finish, very comfortable, nice wearing, love this color, but it is getting old and I can tell that it used to glide on a lot thinner and feel nice and thin, and now it's just feeling a bit gluggy. So it's time to go, and my toddler definitely put the nail in the coffin there. And then I also have the shade Pom Pom, which is more of a nice peachy shade, so I'll compare it to the plummy shade. This one, the bullet is completely loose, so I just have to make sure I don't drop it out. There we go. This is, yeah, it's not a unique shade. It's a sort of peachy, pinky nude. So I know I can dupe that. And again, it's getting old. And if those are getting old, these are decrepit because these are literally at least 5 years older than those. These are way, way, way too old, to the point where I swatched them and I was like, quick, get them off my lips because these are too old. So the reason I mainly kept these was I sort of liked some of the shades and wanted to find better quality dupes for them. I do feel like that since they brought out the nudes, which was, all right, these are discontinued, so they're not around anymore. This is better performing than these, and I think it's because of the colors chosen. So I'll run through the colors. Firstly, we have the shade My Beautiful Rocket, which looks absolutely appealing. Look at it, smudgy. So it's a bright orange, and I was super excited to try this because I loved orange lips, and this was at a time where orange was very hard to find. I think you had Morange from MAC, and then you could get like lip tars in orange, and that was pretty much it. This is a true orange. There's not like much red tone at all to it. It's mainly yellow toned. This makes your teeth look horrible. Also, it's not very opaque, so it looks a bit sheer and wishy-washy. And then like the more it sort of shears down, the more sort of yellowy it looks. So it's more of a tangerine color, and it's actually not that flattering, but I was obsessed with orange and it was so hard to find orange. So this is sort of like a place in my heart, even though I know I don't need it and I don't like it and I'm getting rid of it. Then I've also got Countessa Fluorescent. You know, okay, smudgy and gross. My toddler loves these tubes. I'm going to clear some out and just let him play with them because his favorite color is purple and it's got holographic unicorns on it. What can you do? This is a beautiful bright pink. This was a very popular color at the time. You can see it's more white based, so you can really see the white tones in this compared to these two, and that makes it look like you've got paint sitting on your lips. It's not good. It makes things vibrant, but it makes things look really unnatural. So this was cool in concept, but actually wasn't very flattering. What is more flattering is these ones down here. So this is going, but you know, I did vibe that color back then. And this also, Airborn Unicorn was definitely a product of the time as well, where these, they're all mushed. This sort of, I don't even know how to describe this color. It's similar to the color of the packaging, a little bit more cool toned. This was a really popular shade and I still love this shade. I think it's really fun on the lips. It looks more blue toned on camera. I think when you put it on, you can see more pink tones to it, but it's a fun color and I would totally look for a dupe of this. And that's, I think, why I was holding on to this, but it's time to let it go. And realistically, I would wear a teal more than I'd wear this. Would I? I would wear a purple, just not this purple. All right, let's now talk about LH Cosmetics or Linda Hallberg Cosmetics. I have quite a few of the Fantastick lipsticks. I was sent these in PR. I'm missing one shade because instead of getting the pink, I got a double up of a different shade. And I also have the Infinity Glass. This is actually a multi-purpose glossy product, but I thought I'll throw this in because I mainly use it as a lip product, but this is also a face and eye product. So it's just a like multi-use gloss product. So what I said about this product is that it feels nice and thin, almost like a lip oil. So it's very, very thin, very shiny and clear. The one thing about anything that's very thin is it often doesn't last very long. So this is the type of product that if you eat or drink, it's almost goes, but it does leave your lips feeling quite nourished, but that high shine will definitely go. Now this does have a little spout applicator, so you can just squeeze it out. You can, like I'll blend that out a little bit there. It's a little bit sticky, a little bit tacky, but nice and thin, and you can see it gives a nice shine. You know, not the most lip friendly design. Like of course you can put a little bit on and just smear your lips together or put a bit on your finger, put it on. But this is definitely probably better as a multi-use product. As a lip product, I think it's okay. Like I said, it's quite nourishing. It's looks like a clear gloss. It's fine. I previously hadn't used this on my face because I have oily skin. Face glosses just seem scary to me. And also in the past, when I've used anything like a face gloss, it's lifted my base because I use more mattifying bases. I set down my base. If I then go over the top with a gloss, it tends to lift my makeup. I tried this only last week as a face gloss and I found that it actually is quite beautiful. I do have a video of me applying it, showing it to you. This does leave your skin feeling sticky all day, but it gives the effect of the M Cosmetics serum blushes. Those are gorgeous. Like they're a liquid blush that you put on and gives that beautiful shine, but again, sticky. This is just like a clear version, so you can put it over anything and it gives that effect. Would I keep this as a lip product? Probably not. I feel like it's too big. It's not very user-friendly as a lip product, but I am going to keep this in my face drawer for the days that I want a bit of dewiness, but I don't want like highlighter. So that's unusual. I think it's definitely going to be more of a winter product for me when your skin feels a little bit more dry. You want a little bit of like dewiness. I'm going to keep this and keep playing with it, but it's not going to be in my lip drawer anymore. All right, onto the Fantastick lipsticks. And I've got 7 of these. I do have a double up of the shade I'm currently wearing, which is Pink Opal, but I don't know where it is. I think it's randomly in a handbag because it's one of those products that I like to keep in a handbag because it's so easy to apply. And if you want a little bit of color, but nothing, like you can be driving your car and chuck it on, it's really easy. It's a nice product. So that one's missing, but I'm going to keep it. So just But for now, we've got 7. Let's talk about 7. So the formula of these, I said, it's like a tinted lip balm. The sheerness depends on the shade. So there's one that's completely clear, and there's some that are darker shades, like a red or a dark sort of purpley color. And those obviously are more opaque. Not completely opaque. They're still translucent, but they have a lot more pigment to them. These feel like a really nice quality lip butter. They don't feel sticky, but they do feel substantial on the lips. So you put them on, it gives a nice coating. It doesn't feel super thin, but it doesn't feel sticky and gloopy either. And what I like about these is they do have SPF. So you are getting some lip protection when you're wearing these, which I think is great. These also vary with how heavily you apply them. So if you apply just one layer, they're going to be sheerer in color, but if you do apply a couple of layers, you can get a more bold sort of effect or a more noticeable color to them. And I do think, again, depending on the shade, I think the nude ones look better a little bit sheerer, and I think the colorful ones look better a little bit built up. Now these are roughly around 30 Australian dollars each if you convert it, and I was sent these, so I didn't spend $30 on each of these. But I have to say, I don't think it's worth it for every shade, and I'm not going to keep every shade. Even though I really like the formula and it's one that I think is really flattering, it sort of evens out lip texture, sort of lip maybe discoloration. It's just a really beautiful product. I feel like, especially for the shade I'm wearing, which is my favorite, Pink Opal, I would pay $30 for this. I probably wouldn't pay it for the shade Extra, which is the clear with a slight shimmer in it. I feel like it's a little bit, I don't feel like it's worth it. But it just depends on your preferences. The quality is beautiful. It feels like a nice high quality tinted balm. But yeah, my opinion on whether I would pay the $30 depends on the shades. All right, let's run through the shades. So of course we've got the shade Extra, which is supposed to be like a unisex. I suppose these are all unisex depending on what you're comfortable wearing, but it is like a sheer clear balm, but it does have this slight iridescent pink sparkle to it. It's not enough to really show up as sparkle. It just makes it look a little bit more high shine. Now, from what I have heard from friends of mine who are male and like to use lip balms, straight and gay, they don't like really shiny lip balms. So I think this would have been better if it was more of a matte sort of natural finish. That would have sort of worked a little bit better as the unisex sort of vibe. But these are also multi-purpose products. So if you wanted to use this as a gloss highlighter, you can definitely do it. But yeah, I'm going to keep this clear one just because it's a nice standard everyday clear balm with SPF, which I think is great, but I do think it's overpriced for a nice clear everyday balm with SPF. I think it's a little bit expensive, but I'm going to keep that. Like I said, my favorite shade is Pink Opal. This is the pinky nude one. I'm wearing it today. I think it really complements like most makeup looks. I'm wearing it today because I'm going quite bold in the eyes, so I thought that's a nice way to sort of tone it down. It has enough pigmentation that it evens out the lips and looks flattering, but it wears down beautifully. And because these are slightly thicker, like more substantial, they do wear fairly well. Like they'll wear a good few hours, but of course they fade down differently depending on the shade. The nudes will look like they fade down a lot faster, but if you get like a tissue and wipe off your lips, there'll still be a little bit of color there hours and hours later. So definitely keeping that. The shade Famous is a funny one for me. I thought on paper this was going to be like my favorite. It's like a brown tone nude, but I actually feel like, oh, I swatched over the clear. Let's swatch it on this other side, shall we? So because this is more of a sort of caramel tone, I thought I was going to like this more, but this is actually quite cool toned, and sometimes it can look a little bit jarring. It can almost look 90s nude lip, but not in a really flattering way. I don't know what it is, but recently I've been trying this. I tried it a few times this month, but it does work with my current coloring or my current makeup. So I am going to keep this, and it might be one I want to pan because I do prefer Pink Opal to this one. So Pink Opal is definitely worth the money, and the next one that I would definitely say is worth the money in my books anyway is the shade I Die. This is gorgeous. It's a vibrant coral shade, but it's like a sheer coral shade. So it's not your really, really, really opaque. Especially when you do put on your lips, it sort of just settles down to what looks like a tint. And it is really fresh. It is very vibrant. It's very youthful without it being really opaque and too much. And this does fade down nicely. The more it fades down, the more it looks like almost like a slight blotted lip, but that vibrant sort of corally shade just gives a nice, I don't know, it just makes your lips look really fresh and fun. It's such a nice color, definitely keeping that. I don't usually like glossy sheer reds. I feel like they just don't look as good as opaque reds, but there are some that I think are gorgeous, and this is one that I am keeping. The other red in the range is Bullseye. This is one I'm not keeping. This is one that would be cool as like a red blush or like a cream blush. So again, you can use these on your face, but I find this one just to be a little bit wrong for this formula in my opinion. Again, it ends up looking a little bit sad because it is that cooler tone. It's a little bit dark. I don't feel like it lifts the face. I feel like it sort of just looks a little bit muted and dull. And I don't like muted dull reds. I like reds to be kind of vibrant and add a lot of life to your face. If this was more of like a cherry red, like a vibrant cherry red, so you got the coral and then more of a like pinky toned cherry, I think it could have been gorgeous, but this is just not something I'm going to reach for. So I'm going to get rid of that one. Something that's a shame, this is, again, on paper, this is one that I thought I would really love. This is the shade Cultured, which is an orange. I love orange lipsticks, but again, this is more of that sort of, it's just a bit dull. I think on camera it looks more vibrant, but in person it just looks almost like a very sheer, not brick orange, that's not the case, but it's just a little bit dull. Again, if it was more punchy and vibrant and left like a freshness to the face, this just sort of looks like you've got worn off lipstick, which I'm not a huge fan of. I just much prefer to reach for a vibrant orange. So even though that's cool in theory, I'm not going to keep it. And the last one I'm not going to keep is Garnet. I've got a lot of indie brand colors that are very similar to this. This is that sort of purpley, dark cherry sort of effect. Again, I like the color. This looks beautiful on the lips, but these darker shades, they do fade down fairly quickly, and then you're left with this dull sort of effect. And again, I prefer this shade to be more bold and not in a formula that it could be inclined to smear around. So I think the ones that I value the most are actually the nude ones and that really vibrant coral. The rest, I'm like, I just prefer to reach for an opaque lipstick of that color to get a more impactful effect. But I'm not saying that those colors aren't worth the money. I think if you really like a glossy red and you'd use it on your cheeks as well, and it's a multi-use vegan product and I think it is a nice product. I don't think the clear is worth the money because I feel like that's just a glorified lip balm. These other ones that have nice color to them, they're a nice hybrid lip balm lipstick, but I'm just keeping the ones that I can see myself using. All right, the last range of lipsticks are something that I actually tried for the first time this month, which is weird. At Beauty News, we'll send the whole range of Black Moon Cosmetics. These are the Sinister Satin lipsticks, and they come in this little gorgeous coffin, and they're inspired by horror films. So there's an insert that comes in there, but it's so cute. Such a cute little present if someone likes Halloween or likes horror films or just likes sort of like coffins. This is a really cool product. Anyway, we were sent these a while ago. It was just before I moved house. They sort of sat in a box and I was like, I'll get around to using them. Didn't use them because I was busy in moving house and Christmas and New Year's and And then I thought this is a perfect time in this month to try them because Black Moon Cosmetics is an indie brand and these are bullet lipsticks. I am obsessed with these. I love everything about these. These are so good. They're so good. I've been using them this month and every time I apply them, I'm just like, what is this gorgeousness? And even if I don't love the colors, there's part of me wants to keep it because they're beautiful. So there's 9 lipsticks available in this shade range. I want them to expand it because the formula is beautiful. And they're all named after horror films, which I love horror films. I've seen, I think, all of these horror films. So I get it. I vibe with it. Black Moon Cosmetics is sort of an alternative sort of gothic inspired brand. I really like their formulas, and I think if they did that aesthetic but also some more mainstream colors, they could take off as being like the next best indie brand because their formulas are on point. So I'll read the claims about this formula, and I'm going to say it ticks all boxes because these are not, they're not lying. These are beautiful. So they're vegan, cruelty free, always. Highly pigmented, satin finish, creamy texture, long wear, high color payoff in one swipe. Yes, can confirm. Extremely lightweight and comfortable. Can confirm. So again, these are satin. I would say that they're just, you know, your cream formula. So like I said multiple times in this video, not super shiny and glossy, not, or there's one that's actually glittery, and they're not matte. Now, what makes these different from like Besame and Lime Crime and some of the other ones I talked about is that these are super thin on the lips and super, super comfortable. They don't feel gluggy, they don't feel heavy, they just glide on, and they're so nice. And the colors are really unique. Some of them I would wear on a daily basis, others I won't. But I sort of want to keep them all because they're beautiful. So let's run through the shades and I will throw up photos on the screen. We've got the shade Mysery, which is this beautiful sort of nude, but it's like a cooler tone nude. It's sort of similar, looks similar to what I'm wearing on my lips, but because it is more opaque, you can definitely see some of the rosy sort of cool toned notes that come out, like super opaque. Really, really, really beautiful. The point on this as well is really nice. It's quite sharp, so you can get a nice precise line. I do have to say, I feel like the packaging, like the box is really impressive and the tubes themselves are a little bit lackluster, but what's inside is what counts. And these are beautiful, beautiful quality lipsticks. One shade that I really became quite obsessed with, and I'm just thinking to myself, do I take off what I'm wearing to put this on? This is like this beautiful sort of brownie orange shade called Trick or Treat. And again, it's just so thin, so beautiful. This like pumpkin-y brown autumn shade. We're currently in autumn in Australia. This is going to be staying on my desk because it's glorious. Should I put it on now? Yes. Or should I put on Werewolf? No, I'll put on Werewolf because that one is a little bit more unique in my opinion and also just as equally as beautiful. So this one's Werewolf and this is a dark brown, and I don't have many dark browns in my collection, but this is stunning and oh, you'll see how it applies. But so yeah, beautiful dark brown, almost has like olive tones to it, but it is stunning. All right, let's zoom in a little bit so you can see. Look at that. You can get a super crisp line because it's so pigmented and just glides on. It's not super creamy that it like smears, but it's not super matte that it like drags. It's just perfect. So pretty unique color, but fun and like, I love it. And you can see how the formula is thin but really pigmented and creates a beautiful sharp line. And also the good thing is because it's not thick and too creamy, even though it does transfer because it stays like moisturizing formula, it doesn't smear around much. So yes, it can transfer off your lips, but your lips sort of stay where it is and they last really, really well. And because they are that satin sort of cream formula, if any does wear off, you just have to like press your lips together. It sort of redisperses and just fades down really nicely. So yeah, not a shade I'm going to wear often, but I think it's stunning. And if you love dark browns, check out Werewolf. It is beautiful. Then we have the shade Omen, which is a true black. Look, if you love a black lip or you're after a black lip, look at how opaque this is. Like what the heck? Super thin, super sharp, super beautiful. I don't need a black lipstick in my life, but I'm keeping it. Sometimes randomly you'll want to wear a black, and this is like, it's like the black to end all blacks. It is, and it's not even like a bluey black or a purpley black. It is black, opaque, thin, comfortable, gorgeous. These lipsticks, I am so happy I discovered these this month because they are phenomenal. Then we've got the shade Greta. This one is interesting. It's not one, again, I'm going to wear often, but I'm going to try to find a reason to wear this. Normally I hate metallic lipsticks. I don't like sparkly lipsticks. This is a sparkly green. Look at it catching the light and it is phenomenal. Let's swatch it down here. So this one's less opaque than the others because you need to see the shimmer through it. If it was completely opaque, you wouldn't see the shimmer. This is the most perfect like shimmery emerald green, and on the lips, it's stunning. It is stunning. This is another one I'm just gonna have to wear to pick up my kid at kindergarten next year, because what is this? What is this? Do I need it? No, I don't. But is it phenomenal? Yes, it is. I think they should bring out like a ruby shade in this. I feel like they should I want to see them expand this line. Even though there's 9 and that's like a lot, and the shades are quite unique. So a lot of them are really wearable. Some of them are really unique. I think they've nailed the colors with these and nailed the formula. Okay, let's get on to Dracula, which is a beautiful red. This is the red that I think trumps the Besame one, just because it's not as thick on the lips and I feel like it's a little bit punchier. So it is a cool tone red. So it's got sort of more bluey, pinky vibes to it, but this just feels so nice and looks so gorgeous that I'm like, I would reach for this over the Besame one in a heartbeat. And as soon as I put this one on, I'm like, why am I keeping the Besame one? What am I doing there? Elm Street, I love all these references. Dark red, that's the word. So whereas like the Melt one is more purple black, this is more of a dark cherry, and it's just gorgeous. Like it's a nice dark wine color. Again, formula, beautiful, absolutely beautiful. Oh, this next one, oh my God. Another shade, if I could make mainstream, would be like a cobalt blue. And we've got Hellraiser, which is this beautiful blue. Now I do know I have a similar shade like this in the Anastasia Beverly Hills matte formula. So if I want a matte, I can go that. If I want a satin, a little bit more comfortable, I'll go this one. And this is, I'll put it next to the green. This one again isn't pigmented in just one swipe. It's a little bit more translucent. And I feel like the reason for that is if it was pigmented in one swipe, it would look very, very dark. Whereas you can sort of build up the darkness and it has this vibrancy to it that's really, really gorgeous. I love this. It looks gorgeous on the lips. I didn't want to take it off. I love blues. It is what it is. The one shade that I was considering getting rid of because I can't see myself wearing it, but then I thought, look, I can't keep 8 out of 9. That's just silly. So this is the shade The Fog, and it is purple, but it's a very gray, cool tone purple. So instead of it being like a magenta purple, it is more of a dark gray tone purple, and it's just not really my jam. I think it's the one that suits me the least. It also didn't apply patchy, but you can see that it doesn't apply as opaquely as like these shades here, for example. So it did take a little bit of building up. Didn't love it, but I feel like, again, there's no point keeping 8 out of 9. You may as well keep all of them. And also this could be one that I could mix with some other shades to sort of make the red a little bit more purple, or make the blue, or whatever. If I wanted to, I could. Probably won't, to be fair. I don't really like mixing lip products, but I just thought I can't get rid of one. That's just silly. So until I hit Black Moon Cosmetics, I was doing really well. I was getting rid of 13 and keeping 10. That's a great split. What I want to do this year is to cut my lipstick collection down by at least half, or in the last couple of years, this has been going for a long time. But those extra 9 really pushed it over to the edge. So I'm keeping 19 and getting rid of 13. But these are great lipsticks. They're super fresh and super new, and the formula is gorgeous. Colors are unique. And even though I am at this point in time keeping overall more lip products that I'm getting rid of throughout the however many months I've been doing this, like I keep banging on in these episodes, I will do a swatch off video at the very end. So what I'll do is I'll show you me swatching like products, so similar reds, and I will decide, do I need 20 blue toned reds? And if the answer is no, I'll cull the ones that I like the least out of the ones I've decided to keep. So I will get rid of more down the track, but yeah, I'm okay with this. So thank you so much for watching this month. If you did want to see my past videos in this series, I'll have them all listed in the description box, as well as the names of the products I mentioned. And I'll be back very soon with my eyeshadow palette version of this series, which is Armageddon. So I will see you soon. Bye.